That's pretty nice. It's pretty quick.
It'd be quicker if we had a bobble, but no, it bothers me, it disturbs me, it's in my ears, I can't hear. I'm not really looking at the camera enough for it to be mostly aesthetic. That does come into it. But no, comfort.
It makes more sense to me watching them back, to be honest. Because otherwise I see your voice coming out of my mouth with your facial expressions and my hair, and it like fucks up my brain. So, fronting markers are appreciated, as well as comfortable.
Right. All of those, absolutely every fucking piece of concern you have there is absolutely understandable, reasonable, right, valid, and unfortunately completely possible. Is, yes, fucking harrowing, both for our life and our experiences and what they've done to us and for the world we live in, and the lack of understanding and trust that somebody can have in services that are allegedly there to support you, being just yet another person to fight in most people's experience. That's all kinds of depressing in every way. Grief is the only natural response. And fear, maybe.
Thanks.
And living with CPTSD symptoms of dissociative disorders, you might have noticed, it's not like a this is not something with an end date on the healing, or well, not in this life. It's gonna be a lifetime thing. And all we do is learn to manage and cope, and as you say, compensate for the way the symptoms affect us. And that's what we're learning to do. I have full faith that we will learn to do that for this. It does not mean that we would have the energy to pull out all those stops and to deal with everything internally and externally, and in terms of responses needed to the situation around us. I can see it, you know. I know what sort of things are likely to be triggering. I know what things are likely to be causing panic attacks. I know how many things we're likely going to have to calm and regulate and soothe through across the span of the entire day. And I know that that will wipe us out for a very long time. So we cannot do it reliably and repeatedly if we can do it once. And that is just the facts of the situation. So I'm not concerned about anyone in an individual assessor's case of education and understanding, because you don't need to come with prior knowledge to be able to observe. And our limitations are our limitations. And when assessed, they will be shown to be those limitations. So I'm not worried that they're gonna think we're faking, because you only need to observe us to go, that's fucked in so many different ways, and to see the impacts are measurable by observation, by analysis, by assessment, and probably by a host of medical tests. So I'm not worried about that. I understand you being worried about that. I don't think it's an unreasonable worry, it's just I really don't bother worrying about a lot of shit. I trust in our ability to advocate for ourselves and for each other, and to find help externally and professionals to speak about the conditions we have and how they affect us if we needed that information. I don't doubt that it would be really fucking stressful. It would cost a bit for us to do. And I trust our ability to do that if it needs be, to even fight it in a case that would make it more beneficial and more understood and more widespread information available to people that needed it the world over. We'd make something good out of it if it happened.
Yeah.
We draw attention to it in the public eye as a fuck up of the system in a way that meant this sort of shit shouldn't be fucking happening. And we would fight that. I know we would. So I'm not worried about it happening. I trust what we'd do if it happened.
Oh god, I feel sick. And like crying. And my legs have turned to jelly. Thank you. That's, God. I think I'm going to need to watch that back a few times to even process how much relief I just felt. Yeah. Not like my fear is entirely gone, but now at least I know what kind of things I need to say and hear. Oh, and repeat until it's drilled into a belief. Oh my god. I feel a lot more pain and grief and like anger. I'm angry that these things have to be fears and that this world works like this. I'm angry that this can be something. And like, what if I'm angry for the rest of the world? Like, what about the people that can't advocate for themselves? I'm angry.
Again, I think that's an entirely appropriate response, yes. I'm furious. I know my voice hasn't changed. I'm always furious.
Okay, thank you. I feel a little less sick and anxious.
As for actually getting there, yeah, those are all very reasonable concerns, really. I can't tell you that we won't be affected by our symptoms. I know we will. I don't know how much. I can tell you that whatever effects occur, brains are built to survive and adapt, and we are very good in a state of shock and trauma, if through nothing else, repeated exposure. We have really good autopilots, and we're very good at avoiding potentially life-threatening situations. I trust us to be able to do that. I know that's been a source of great trauma. I trust us to be able to manage if that happens. And I don't think a re-traumatizing event is the most likely to happen, even though I see why. I see why it could. Yeah. But we have a lot in the way of compensation already worked out. For instance, the fact that there are altars in here that can be blocked far away from the front while we deal with the goings on outside. So we can protect our system from such re-traumatization. And if something went that badly wrong, we'd be in it together. And I think we'd come out of it all right. We'd adapt like we have with everything else and try and use it to build our skill sets. I mean, you've seen how chill I am. Imagine getting lost somewhere across the country with me. I'm not really going to be in the middle of the night. We haven't done that travelling, but we have done that walking around places we didn't know. A fair few times, actually.
Yeah.
Usually drunk. We'll be sober.
Yeah. Okay.
The best I can tell you is that I trust in the compensatory measures that we employ in this system to keep the system safe. I trust in our ability to learn and adapt when traumatic events occur. I trust that we'll have a safe place to come back to rest from the absolute fucking exhaustion that doing it will cost us. And I trust that we will feel very damn proud and very fucking right, healing, empowered, maybe that's it, for being able to get there and achieve this, even though, yes, it won't be the same easy, light, leisurely activity, just A to B, that it would be to people without all of the symptoms we face. It's a deeper level for us. But I tell you what, that means it's a deeper level for us. No, maybe we don't get to experience the light, oh, should I have a drink on the train or not? And maybe we don't get to experience the light, oh, I'm so excited. maybe the train journey isn't even something that highlights to somebody as part of it, because it's so normal. Maybe the same for being around people. Maybe none of it. Maybe they just think about the music, and I don't know. I don't know what it's like to not have trauma. But yeah, we don't get it on that level. But what we do get is the ability to see how much we prioritise each other and ourselves, and how hard we fight to do things that are really meaningful, and to have some semblance of an adventurous and, wherever it can be, sort of normal human life. We get to experience putting all of our skills to the test, learning how we support each other in the moment of something that's deeply distressing and unusual to us, and knowing that we can do it. We get practice at trying to keep our nervous system regulated and try and stave off panic attacks, and however well we do at that, we build towards a life where we can enter society feeling a little bit calmer and a little more at peace in our own skin every time we do it. We get to see what sort of a hell we'll go through and back for something that means something to us, and what we're worth to ourselves, to each other, what we're capable of, because it don't matter if people on the outside can't see the lengths we're going to go through and how much it takes us internally to achieve this. We can, and that will live in an embodied sense in us. It will be branded and drilled into every atom of our being, the sort of things we'll go through, because we want to experience good and fun things in life that we deserve to experience, even if it costs us hell to get them. Well, we'll see what sort of hell we think we're worth. It might not live in us on a light level, but these things will impact us and be experienced on deeper and more meaningful levels than maybe they ever could be appreciated on without the trauma. Even if that feels a little bit solemn, a little bit like surviving in another dangerous situation and trying to find a way to make it feel safe. Yeah, a lot of those fears are very reasonable, really indeed. And I trust our ability to cope with the things that we're impacted by, show up for ourselves in a way that we need. And keep each other alive and safe, and slowly over time learn to feel that safety as we do it. Okay. Okay. I guess at some stage we've got to plan like compensatory measures. You know those cards we've got that have like statements on them for if people go mute? Maybe we should bring those. Maybe we should make a list of things we should bring just in case. Print out a map in case somebody happens to forget how to use the phone, not be able to use the phone. Google Maps fucks up. Maybe let's work out what sort of things could go wrong and try to find a nice balance between compensating for those things with stuff we can bring with us and not sort of hyper obsessing or focusing on everything, because we cannot plan for everything. So just a reasonable amount of things likely to happen, and then let go and trust in our capabilities for the rest. And maybe lots of journal work and lots of vlogging work between now and then. Maybe I'm gonna
go over it, watch back everything you said. Thank you. And drill it into long-term information and make it like auto-cued by how much I repeat it between now and then. And then maybe by the time it's actually here, I will at least have like a stable internal list of reassurances to the racing thoughts I'm likely to get. I'll address all the fears and find ways to support and reassure for them as you just did between now and then. And then when I get them on the day, I want to just stuff them down or push them away, and maybe the reassurances will even start to feel like possibilities and truth. Okay. I'm still really fucking scared.
I know. That's all right. That is part of the range of human experiences. You know, you may feel fear. You can feel fear and be safe.
That's going to take a long time to learn. Good boy. Good girl.